Welcome to ADCO Aviation. On the 48th video, we made the Aileron bell cranks. Today, I installed them on the rear strut. First off, I want to apologize to you. I guess with everything going on, I forgot to send an update. Thank you to those that have reached out to check on me. I'm fine, just super busy with everything. Anyways, if you remember, I chose to make these two sleeves just long enough to capture the pivot bolt for the bell cranks. I drilled the holes through the aluminum strut and the steel sleeves and inserted the bolts according to Leonard's drawings and added 3 aluminum washers, the bell crank, another aluminum washer, and finally the lock nut. Oh, I forgot to mention in the last video, I put a slight bend or a kick in the aileron side of the bell crank in order for there to be good clearance for the forks to move back and forth. Speaking of forks, let's connect the two forks together. I cut the threaded rod I ordered from Amazon for the push rod that connects the aileron and the bell crank to the desired length, and will add lock nuts as soon as they arrive. Basically, we just want the aileron at neutral and the arm to be vertical. Speaking of the arrival of hardware, I thought it might be a good idea to check around for pricing. At the time, I had about $52, including shipping, and that wasn't much, in my aircraft spruce cart. I sent the same list to a company called Genuine Aircraft Hardware Company to get a quote. Shipping was way cheaper, but they wanted $126 shipped. Doubled the price, so nope. I also checked Wix, but unfortunately, Aircraft Spruce got another $100 from me by the time I added a couple other hardwares to the list. Man, this is worse than running to Walmart for a loaf of bread or milk. Or maybe even running to Home Depot for just one little thing. Somehow they always manage to dig deeper into those pockets than you thought as you were going into the store. Oh well, nothing in life is free, right? Next, I needed to make the guides for the aileron cabling that run up the rear strut. I wanted to try to make them out of Delron instead of welding more of those rings and adding the Delron guides and metal clips. I believe it was on Denny's Legal Eagle I saw this done. Not 100% sure about that, but the seed was planted from one of y'all, and I always liked it. Anyways, I thought it might also work out well for my future plans to streamline the round struts a lot easier. I started with a drawing sketch of what I thought I wanted. Then I drew it out in CAD to make them all neat and uniform. I wanted 4 pieces for just the cables to go through along the top and the bottom of the rear struts. 2 more pieces just like these with a third tab protruding upward for the jury strut to attach to. And finally 2 more pieces for the front struts with a single tab protruding upwards for its jury strut. Of course, all 8 pieces will be slipped over and glued to the 1 1/4 inch strut. I drew out the pattern and printed it at least 8 times, cutting out the 8 needed and desired shapes. I took a piece of scrap Delron that was about 9/16 inch thick and glued the 8 templates to the Delron with Elmer's glue. I later found my spray adhesive, which may have been a little easier, but Elmer's worked just fine. I carefully drilled an 1/8 inch pilot hole in all the desired hole locations. followed up with a 3/16" bit for all the external or outward holes for the cable guides, and AN3 bolts that will hold the jury struts. And finally, I drilled out the 1 1/4" holes. Now I just needed to cut out all the 8 pieces on the bandsaw and sand them to their final shapes, as well as sanding off all my markings. I slipped them over the struts and will glue them into their proper location with T88 once I run the cabling and see the best locations for each. Hopefully next, I will get the hardware ordered and will finish up rigging the rear struts, as well as answer a question or two I had from some of you regarding these sleeves. I hope you've enjoyed this video and hopefully found some of the info helpful for your build. And if you're on the fence about starting a Legal Eagle build, hopefully I've shown you just how easy it can be. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe to my YouTube, Odyssey, or Rumble channels. Thank you, and be safe.